Welcome to the girls. We are doing a show in my living room today, Jeanine. We decided to go on location because we have a very special guest with us today. We have a woman who is no stranger to the local area. She's been a guest on the Sam Lasan Show. Her name is Jeannie Paslawsky, and I met Jean through an email and prompted me to listen to her story, which you're going to find out today. Jean is in need of a liver transplant. Mm-hmm. So, Jeanine, you're just meeting Jean for the first time.
Jean,
thank you so much.
Oh, thank you
for joining
having
us.
me. I appreciate it so much.
We're so happy to have you here today. For those who are watching, you told me the story of how everything first started. How did you find out you needed a liver transplant, first of all?
Well, everybody that found out after me said, "Oh, I'm so shocked." They said, "Nobody's more shocked than I am," because I had no symptoms. I didn't feel as if I were sick or anything. And I was on my way to an appointment last fall, in October of all things, and I came out our front door and I misstepped on the sidewalk and I went face first down. I didn't even break my fall with my arms, nothing. I just happened to have something in my hand, so when I fell, I hit my head first, and my head snapped back, and then my body fell down and like kind of bounced to me, and oh my goodness, I knocked the wind out of myself. So the fellow across the street, young Tony, he came across running over. He's a nurse. So he said, he looked at me, he said, "You're going to need stitches. I'll take you right over to the hospital. Come on, can you get up?" So he and the neighbor helped me up, and when they helped me up, oh my God, I looked down at the sidewalk. It looked like there was a mob hit. There was so much blood down there, I couldn't believe it. But here, it was just from here. My nose wasn't broken or anything, but this right here, I guess, is a very tender spot. Yeah, and it was just, oh my God. So helped me in the car, away we went. They stitched me up. They did some tests. They looked at my neck to see that I was all right back there, and I was. And oddly enough, I was supposed to go away that weekend to see some girlfriends, and I said that I wasn't going to go because of COVID. I didn't want to infect anybody. I know some of them care for their parents and so on and so forth. I said, no, I didn't want to. And I was joking with the girl stitching up my mouth because I said, there I was, didn't want to go see my girlfriends because of COVID, and here I am laying in a hospital and you're stitching up my mouth. What is the irony of this?
Right,
yeah. And they were laughing. I said, this is unbelievable. She said, "Do you feel all right?" I said, "Yeah, I feel great. I do. I feel fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it, I'm a little achy, and that." So they helped me up, and then somebody came and got my sister, and she wasn't even home at the time when it happened. So they got a hold of her. She came over to pick me up, and I got in the car, and of course they had stitches here and everything, and a bandage and stuff. But I felt fine, otherwise. I was, like I said, I expected to be sore the next day, and I was, but my face swelled, like my entire face was swollen, and my gums swelled up, and I couldn't explain. I said to my sister Joanne, I said, I feel like somebody just whacked me right in the head, right. Well, it was. I did get whacked in the head.
Yeah, you did get whacked in the head.
So in the meantime, I called the doctor, because they tell you, call your doctor, make an appointment, go see. So I made an appointment to get my stitches out, because they said it'll take this many days. I said, no, it won't take me that many. And I have high protein. I said, so this is going to be healed by this day. Sure enough, it was. And when I saw my doctor, she took the stitches out. She checked everything. She examined me. She said, "How do you feel?" I said, "I feel fine." She said, "Okay. You getting?" I said, "I'm a little sore, like this side of my body, because I think I fell harder on this side. I started to feel like up in here and down here, all these bones, old bones." you hit the sidewalk,
it was a hard fall.
Yeah. So thank God I was heavier then, and I had a little more padding on me because I was, I think I didn't hurt as much, maybe, I don't know. But I felt fine. And then that was like a Thursday, and that weekend we went to St. Jerome's. They had their raffle. And by that day, when I woke up, I couldn't bend over. My stomach had swollen out like this.
Ascites.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had no idea what was going on with me. And my legs were out like this. I couldn't bend my legs because they were so huge. And I don't know where all this fluid came from, so suddenly, bang. So we went up to that thing, and I knew I would see my doctor there because her kids go. And she saw me. She said, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "This just happened." And she said, "Yeah, I just saw you." I said, "I know." Well, what happened? I don't know what's the matter with me. I said, "Do you have pain?" I said, "No." She said, "Be in my office first thing tomorrow morning." So went in first thing. She got me in, and she sent me for so many tests, like soup to nuts, all day long. We never got out of Pottsville. And finally came out around after 5 from like 8:30 in the morning, and we came home. And I didn't know what was wrong. And then she called me for another appointment, come in, and she said, "All right, now we found 3 different things it could be." So she told me what those things were, and I said, "All right." I said, "Well, what are we going to do?" She said, "Well, we're going to do this first, then we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, just to make sure that..."
Check everything out.
Right, whatever these possibilities. And I said, "Okay." And one of them was my liver, like cirrhosis. And I said, I couldn't possibly have cirrhosis. I said, "I don't know where, unless it's in the water." I said, it's like...
Well, yeah, everybody associates cirrhosis with alcohol.
Absolutely.
If you abuse alcohol or you
Yes.
drink alcohol a lot, cirrhosis is attached to that. And of course, any liver disease, people automatically assume that it's from drinking.
Absolutely.
But in your case, no.
No, and only 19% of cirrhosis comes from alcoholism. 19%.
So there are people who have it that probably don't even know they have liver disease.
They don't.
So what does it cause from then? Did they say, is it hereditary?
They
is it
don't know what
genes?
mine came from. Sometimes it comes from fatty liver. A doctor could tell you more about where it comes from. But medicines that you take throughout your life could damage your liver. Combinations of medicines can damage your liver. Only since my liver is damaged and not functioning well at all did I really find out what your liver really does and how important it is.
Talk about that. I know my mom, with her nursing background knows, but what actually happens if you have a faulty liver?
Well, like I said, I was retaining water like crazy, and I was seeing I went to see one doctor, and he said, "Don't worry about it. It's not anything you can't live with." He said, "This is
It's curable.
You could take these pills. You'll be fine. You'll die of something else in the meantime." I said, "Okay." So
That's good.
I thought, okay, that's fine. But the pills weren't doing anything, and they were diuretic. And a diuretic usually, when you take something like that, you really have to take care of things. And I kept saying, just keep taking them, just keep taking them. Nothing. And then I had to go throughout this process. I've really learned a lot about the disease, more or less what it does to you, because it's done it to me. My class ring from college was loose. Now, so that means my fingers are thinner than they were when I was in college. Yeah, and this ring I had resized for myself. Fits on this finger now.
Wow. So from the time you fell until now, you found out that you were diagnosed that you had liver disease, fatty liver. Is that what they called it?
No, they called it
Cirrhosis?
non-alcoholic
Non-alcoholic
hepatic.
hepatic, yes. fatty liver for those that want the translation of it, or what liver disease?
I mean, they told me I have stage 4 liver disease.
Stage 4 liver disease. So
Which is, there's no.
when you found that out, what was your reaction as far as like, my goodness? Now,
Well, yeah,
you know, did you have to go on a special diet as well?
No, in fact, when I talked to dietitians about, because they say, what do you eat? I said, well, I told, well, what did you eat yesterday? So I went through the whole thing of what I ate, in the order I ate it even. They said, oh my God, you eat wonderful. I said, well, thank you. I said, I'm glad. Have you been eating like this long? I said, probably over 15 years or more. I said, I started eating high protein and all this like this when I started taking it with my mom. And I said, I just kept doing it. I said, it's good for me. I feel good, you know, and that. And we eat a larger breakfast, and then we eat, like, to have a snack. Now, the doctor told me I must have these snacks periodically throughout the day. And he's right, because my stomach seems to want to have something to do. So I do have to eat, like, not I wouldn't say like a diabetic on time, you know, like that.
But just to keep your metabolism
Yeah,
continuing,
yeah,
and the glucose levels. When you found out about the liver disease, of course, you had these different changes to your body that you noticed right away. You had none of those before you fell.
No, my sister, for months, she was putting on my socks and shoes. I couldn't bend over to touch down here. I couldn't bend. Because my stomach
It's like
was,
God's way. You fell for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the signs. You fell. Then you realize you know it was more than just from the fall. You went to the doctors, found out that you have the liver disease, right?
Yes,
Fatty liver. And when we come back,
When we come back, we're going to find out the rest of the story, because you were told about how you can help to cure this disease with a living donor. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Girls. We're with our special guest today, Jeannie Paslawsky. We are joined by Gucci, and of course my co-host,
Fabio.
Gucci Fabio. He decided to fill in for Lori today. So he's our little filler in, or Lori couldn't be with us. Yeah, it is. But we've been learning all about Jean's struggle with liver disease, and she was told that she could use a liver transplant, which is something that is very progressive, something you didn't know about. And you could get a living donor, which means part of a person's liver can be transplanted onto your liver, and their liver would grow back almost instantly.
That's
it begins
nuts.
rejuvenating. Isn't that the
I didn't know your
fabulous
liver
organ?
would grow back.
Yes. Yes.
So your liver can actually grow?
Yeah,
and
it's like a
shrink?
sponge.
It
It's
grows,
just like a sponge.
It grows immediately. No, what they do is they actually take part of someone's liver, and they prepare you. They remove your liver, and they'll remove my gallbladder, and then they'll have me ready, and then they take this
Donor.
piece of liver from this person, this donor, and walk it next door into the other OR where I am, and then they put it in, and they connect it to all the different things where it needs to be connected, and it immediately starts to grow. And the one that they took out starts to repair itself. Livers regenerate, which I didn't realize. And
So is your old liver, sorry, your liver now, when they take it out, it's done?
It's done.
Okay.
It's pretty much done
Bye-bye,
now.
fatty
Believe
liver.
me, it's pretty much done now. From the
I thought
feel
you
of
said
it.
like that can be rejuvenated in like, I don't know.
No.
You know, you buy like a refurbished phone. I thought maybe it's
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah, the
We got you.
sick liver is taken out, they put the new piece in, and that liver begins to
And
grow.
it grows into
to
the
accommodate
size that it accommodate my
circulatory system.
Yeah. Where
If you ever ate liver, you look at liver before you cook it, it's spongy.
Yes, it is.
It's
yeah.
spongy, and so it's very, has all of the blood. It's the filter for the blood system.
It's a filter for
So that's why
everything.
you
I mean,
have the swelling and whatever.
Yeah.
But there are qualifications for a donor.
Yes.
And through that, I think you have to be age 55 or younger. And then, of course, you get a very intense physical, because you have to qualify for it. So when you mentioned it to a girlfriend,
Well,
what happened?
I told my friends that I needed this liver transplant, and the way I just texted them, I said, don't call me, just here's what I know. So I got this text immediately back from this one girl, and she said, I'll be your donor. I was like, I said, well, you have grandchildren, you have a family, I couldn't believe it.
I wonder how many of my friends would give me their liver.
Just in a moment, like that moment, just bang, this thing came back. And so I texted her back. I said, talk to your husband. I mean, come on. And she said, absolutely not. I'm your donor. So she went right away to her own family doctor before I was even looking at where I was going or what I was doing, and told him. And he said, all right, well, let's just run some preliminary blood tests and so on. So he did. He found out she had multiple myeloma, which is cancer in the blood marrow.
And she had no symptoms.
No,
Another sign
nothing.
from God.
And
Lordy.
her generosity saved her life. And that's what I told her when she called to tell me. I said, I don't know what to say to you. I'm breathless. I said, I'm breathless. And I said, but your generosity saved your life. I said, I know the guardian angels knocked me down to help me find out what was wrong with me, because nothing else happened to me except that lip thing. And I said, and now you. So she's gone through treatment. She'll be getting her bone marrow transplant now this month. And it's actually what they do is they take hers out, put it back in again. They treat bone marrow and then they put it back in.
See, it pays to be nice.
Oh, God bless her, I'm telling you. God has blessed me so much throughout this entire thing. I never once felt afraid. I never once was worried. I just immediately felt it's going to be all right. God's got me.
Having faith helps through a lot of things, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, my friend, different people, aren't you worried? Oh, I'm so worried about, I say, every time you worry about me, say Hail Mary. Because that way, first of all, there'll be more praying. And I said, secondly, you won't worry.
And worrying is a sin.
Yes. Well, it's demons. The demons are out
worrying
when
is a
you
sin
worry.
if you read in
You
the Bible.
take your focus off
Worrying
of God.
is a sin.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to leave it up to God.
Yes, that's right. So he really has taken such good care of me, really.
But there's more good news.
Yes.
Yes.
So there's more good news. So then after that, how did
So wait,
you reached out?
Don't say that part.
Right.
Say
No,
the
no.
part.
You reached out to my husband Sam.
Yes.
Because you were told on the Gift of Life or whatever the living donor list
Right.
that you can try and get the word out to people,
Right.
so that they know you and they would maybe go like your girlfriend did.
Right.
So you reached out to my husband Sam.
Yes.
Sam Jr., Sam, myself, got the email. I called you, and we had an hour and a half conversation, first of all, because
I'm
Jean's
shocked
just
because my mom doesn't like to talk on the phone.
I'm very brief too myself.
Yeah. So anyhow, I asked how we could help out. So the first thing I did was I posted it to Facebook about what was happening, and I told her we would do a show with her so that we could tell everyone about it. And anybody watching out there that wants to be a living donor, of course, you can go to that site. We'll put all the information on the screen. You can become a living donor for any organs, but for Jean, we thought, well, this is what we'll do, get the word out for you. And
When you told me about it, though, then she told me the whole story over the phone, and I said, wow, doesn't she know anybody who's, 55 and younger? Well, when you're older, of course, you normally don't, and if you don't have a lot of siblings or people around you, maybe they had died. I guess some people don't have anyone that's younger than 55, which is
right. But she did, and of course that girl ended up having
then
something that she
that's what you
couldn't
said,
do.
that the girl had cancer.
So it just seemed like everything, all worlds were leading to us to be together.
Absolutely.
And so of course we scheduled the show, and it was a tentative date, and so here we are today. And what's the news as of right now?
Right now, I have a living donor. And I actually had 2 living donors just a week and a half ago. One of my girlfriends from high school was talking to a friend of hers who had voluntarily gone to be a donor, because there are people like that. They find out that they can donate that part of their livers, and they just go and do it without knowing anybody who needs it. And I had found that out too along the way. I had no idea about any of this. And so in the meantime, they were talking, and she said, well, I could have them because she had gone to Johns Hopkins and she's approved matched. She's ready to go, and I'm ready to go. So it was like all I had to do was become a patient, and then bingo bango, you know, we go forward with this. Well, just the next day, now this all took place over the Labor Day weekend, which of course you couldn't call anybody to find anything out anywhere because it was Labor Day weekend. So plus you had the bonus of Monday, so you had to wait till Monday passed and then do your phone calls Tuesday and so on. So by Wednesday, I was in the process of contacting people, and they're contacting me back to start from the ground up down in Maryland. And I was already registered and on wait lists at Jefferson down in Philadelphia and at UPMC, which is the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. So I'm on both of their wait lists at this time. And so, you know, I get this call. My sister left me a note, call Karen at UPMC. Well, I get calls all the time from all these different places for different reasons.
I guess that one was like urgent, though. It's like,
So-
oh, UPMC.
Yeah, so I called and I said, is everything all right? She said, oh yeah. She said, but I want to tell you, she said, we have good news. We have you scheduled for a liver transplant on October 17th. And I said, excuse me? She said, we have you. I said, do I have a donor? She said, you have an approved donor who's already matched. Everything's been done. All that work's ready. And we're going to do the.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I
That's
was.
wonderful.
I couldn't believe it. And I kept saying to her, is this donor for me? This is like for me. This is somebody for me. She said, yes, this was specifically for you. So it's somebody who knew me that I needed this. And I don't know who they are.
She has no idea who the donor is.
So it's somebody that you know.
No.
I don't know. I don't know if I know. They must. I can't imagine.
But it's specifically for, they said
it's
they want to.
specifically for me.
That's great. I love that.
How about that gift to be that? Well, I mean, what a feeling to be able to donate something to someone and do something for someone that's going to
They're
save
saving my
your
life. They're saving
That's
my
three
life.
people.
That's it.
That's 3 people.
Yeah.
So you must have been a good human.
Oh no.
3
God
people.
is good.
Yes. 3 people came forward
God is
and
good.
wanted to donate some of their liver.
Yes.
That's amazing. So when this show airs, it'll be right around the time that you're getting the surgery. So we'll have to update everybody on, you know, many prayers. Please, viewers, pray
Absolutely.
for Jean and a good recovery, a healthy recovery.
And for
we're
my
gonna-
donor. And
For
Definitely.
your
for
donor,
the,
yes. And
that
for
they stay
all
healthy
the
and they
donors.
recover, and whoever it is, God bless them and keep them healthy many, many years.
The color for organ transplants is green. So I wore green in your
Oh,
honor
how
today.
nice.
Green for Jean. And we've had several organ donors in our own family, but they were deceased donors. And it really makes a huge difference. So anybody who's watching, reach out if you want to give the best gift ever. Give the gift of life. Be a donor, a living donor, or when you're making your plans. But Jean, you're in our prayers. We thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank you
sharing
so
your
much.
story
Thank
with
you
us.
so
And
much.
everyone out there today, we're going to be on top of it to see how everything turns out and maybe have you back as a guest. We'll
Yes,
have
God
to see
bless you.
everything
Thank
works
you.
out. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Save a life. Be a donor.